So I have been served my divorce papers by my husband. Wow, it's reality. It's real now. You can see it with your eyes. It's crazy. I've got all these emotions going on that I'm struggling with, because I feel like in my heart I know this is what needs to be done, and to make things just move in the direction that they need to be moving, and it's just dragged on for so long. But you know, there's a big part of me that's just really still struggling with the fact that I never, ever got married to get divorced, and I'm getting divorced. Today, I'm going to be talking about something that affects a lot of us, unfortunately, and that is divorce. I just want to start off by saying anything and everything I talk about today is only from my point of view, from my side of the marriage, and how I saw things. I'm not speaking for anybody else, just myself. I don't even know where to start. I guess I'll start back to the very beginning. When I was 25, just turning 26 years old, I met Rick. I lived in my house that I basically grew up in. He lived apparently across the street with his sister and her husband. I did not know this at the time. I guess that him living across the street, he had noticed me for quite a while and had been watching me, and I didn't know this. Right? I'm just coming and going and living life. And I started getting sick. And I'm going to make another video about that. And really, really sick. And the place that I worked at the time, I first really noticed it. It came on really quick, within like a week. And I literally was walking like one day, and the next day dragging my legs, just trying to get into work. And, but it ended up being that this illness put me on the flat on the floor and in a wheelchair. I kind of have to go that direction a little bit and explain to you, because it's kind of how he came together. So one day, I was at home, and my mom owned that home. She also owned a home in Lake Placid where she was living. She left me at home and said, I have to go to the other home. Don't move. Here's your phone. It was one of those phones, like with the really long cords that you could literally walk around the house and talk on it. I had to go to the bathroom after she had left. And I'm like, oh my goodness. So I ended up going to the bathroom. I fell down, busted my finger, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, ended up going to the hospital. Coming home, he came over and actually spoke to me and said something to the sort, I can't remember, it was so many years ago, but introduced himself and kind of like, you're having a hard day, you know, what's going on? And, you know, I just looked horrible. I was so sick. And I've got this thing now on my arm. So now I can't walk. I have to scoot on my butt. And I've got this thing on my arm. And I'm just like, right? Kind of. And he wasn't really my type. Nothing that I ever would have picked out to date. Let's just put it that way. He was not my type at all. And, but he was a nice guy. He came over, you know, kind of like concerned, what's going on? Oh my God, you know, I guess maybe everybody saw the ambulance there. Maybe it was just curiosity of like, what the heck's going on with you, right? You're walking one day and then you're scooting around on your butt the next. So, we started talking, and then the next thing I know, oh, let me go back a little bit. So he lived in the house right across the street, but he moved into the house next door. It was a rental. He ended up moving into that house with his friend. And so the next thing I know, we're hanging out. He's coming over to the house. We're watching TV together. And then I don't know if it happened before or after, but he's like, can I take you out? And I'm thinking, what is wrong with this guy? Here, I'm, you know, yeah, I'm this young girl. I'm a single mom, raising my son alone. And now I've got him, and I'm in a wheelchair. And here he comes in and is like, okay, this younger guy, he was younger than me. I've got 4.5 years on him. Swooping in and, you know, wanting to take me out. And why? You know, there is nothing special about me, and there is nothing about me that is appealing right now. But okay, you know, this is what I'm thinking. Okay, so, we go out. And he takes me to the pier, and we get to the end of the pier, and he kisses me. And yeah, it just kind of just went from there. It was crazy. And we were hanging out, watching TV. Really couldn't do too much because of my condition, but I continued to get worse. And in and out of the hospital. Well, my mom had to put that house up for sale. And the next thing I know, he came over, and I think he spoke with my mom first, and then said, you know, well, I talked to my roommate, and we'll take care of Julie. We'll take care of Zach. You know, they can move in here and we'll just divide the rent in 3. They were supposed to have another roommate that was a female. The house had 3 rooms and she backed out. So here they have this room, and now it's kind of like, okay, well, this is making sense. Maybe, you know, we're just moving in here because they just needed somebody to help out with the rent, or I don't know. Well, me not being able to work, this was totally my mother's decision because I had to have her financial support. And child support was just here and there and not a steady source of any kind of help to help put a roof over our head. So everything fell pretty much back on my family. And she, I think, was a little weary, but she also had a really good feeling about him. So we all agreed upon it. They went out and they went shopping. They got blinds for the room. I mean, just both of them. Just really good guys. Like, it's almost like too good to be true. Just really, really good guys. Like, who does that, right? I mean, now you think, who does stuff like that? So, let's see. What happened next? So I move in, and we took with us my son's bunk bed. So Zachary got to sleep on the top bunk. I slept on the bottom, which was almost like a queen size bed. So it worked out, you know, to be good. And we shared that room. There was not much else or really any other choices that we had. My mom's house in Lake Placid was super tiny. It was only 2 bedrooms. It just wasn't feasible. I mean, Zachary was already established in his school. There was no sense in disrupting his life any more than it had already been disrupted. And my mom needed the help. And Rick reassured her that he would do whatever needed to be done. So I moved in. And things just kind of, you know, progressed from there. He was helping getting me to the doctors. My mom did, you know, come over a lot and would have to take me to different hospitals, and just in the process of doctor appointments and what the heck's going on with Julie, you know. She can't feed herself. She can't walk. She can't, I mean, just, I couldn't do anything but just basically lay there. It was like just my body and the movements were just all out of whack, and I just couldn't do anything. So anyway, time just kind of went on from there, and I had to spend sometimes weeks at a time in the hospital, and Mom would come over and they would all chip in, and I would have to say that these 2 guys, like, completely helped me. Raise my son. It was like they most certainly were put in my life at that point for a reason. You know, it wasn't all about me and being sick. Here I had this young boy that depended on me and was scared. And I think that they made life fun for him and kind of took away a little bit of that worry. Where he worried about, is Mom going to be here tomorrow? Here I am in and out of hospitals. Mike and Rick are like angels from above, just sit down to help with Zach and make sure he's okay and he's eating and he's getting to school. And I'm struggling. I have no money. I have no nothing. And these guys just took care of my son. And made his life as good as they possibly could right at that point. And I mean, I could never repay either one of them for what they did for Zach during that period of time. But as time went on, how can you not fall in love with somebody that does that and does that for your kid? You know, the fastest way to a mom's heart is through their kids. And he knew what he was doing. He knew what he was doing. No, but so time moved on, and you know, I started getting better. We were a couple. We had some bad times. We had some good times, and the next thing you know, we're moving into a home alone. We want to just be the three of us, be a little family, and that's what we did. And we moved, and we got a little house, and lived, and was close to his family up in this area, and it was nice, you know. We just lived life the best we could. We worked, raised Zach together, and then marriage got discussed, and the next thing we know, we're getting married, and just having a really good, fun life together, and enjoying every moment together, and enjoying our moment as a family together, and doing vacations. And you know, Zach was, I want to say, 6, 7 years old when we got together, and that's his dad. I mean, that's who raised him. That's who's been in his life since he was little. And that's Dad. And nothing will ever change that. They have an awesome relationship. And I'm proud of that. And I thank God for that. He loves my son. And my son adores and loves him. But there was always something in my heart that was missing. And that was more kids. I got pregnant in high school and had Zachary shortly after I graduated high school. And didn't do many things the right way. And I just felt like this time I'm going to do everything the way it's supposed to be, right? And so that's what I felt like I was doing. I found the love of my life. I had my son. We were raising him. But I wanted more kids. I wanted a big family. I never ever hid that fact from anybody. Anybody. I never went into my marriage saying I didn't want kids.